Addition of unlike fractions. After learning about addition and subtraction of like fractions, it's time to learn about addition of unlike fractions. This video is about addition. In the next video, we will talk about subtraction. Now, let's take two unlike fractions. Let's take we have 7 by 3 over 3 plus 2 over 6. Since the denominators are not the same, that makes them unlike fractions. How to add them? The steps that we will follow is very similar to what we did in the case of comparison of two unlike fractions. Now, if you don't remember, so no worries, we'll briefly revise that particular portion, that what we do when we compare two unlike fractions. The first step is always that change the fractions in their respective equivalent fractions. You have to change this fraction into an equivalent fraction in a way that the denominator of the equivalent fraction of this one and the denominator of the equivalent fraction of this one, you have to find the equivalent fraction of this one also. The denominators should be the same. Okay, should be the same, and that will make them what? Like fractions. So our first target is to make them like fractions. To make these unlike fractions as like fractions, and to make them you have to find the equivalent fraction of this one and the equivalent fraction of this one in a way that the denominators of these two fractions or the equivalent fractions are the same. And the way to do is find the LCM of 3 and 6. So if this is 3 and this is 6, 3 times 1 is 3, 2, and sorry, first you have to start with 2. 2, this will be 3 only, this will be 3, and then 3. So LCM is 2 times 3, that is 6. Okay, so my denominator has to be 6 in this case, and denominator has to be 6 in this case. Okay. If I have to make an equivalent fraction having denominator as 6, that is LCM, by what number I have to multiply 3 with? So you have to multiply 3 with what? 2. If you multiply 3 with 2, then you will get the 6 as a denominator. Now since you are finding an equivalent fraction, therefore you have to multiply your numerator, that is 7, also with 2. This will make it 14. Right? That's the way we did in the case of comparison, and that's a way to write the equivalent fraction. Now, by what number I have to multiply the denominator in this case, that is 6, to make it 6? Hey, that's already 6. Therefore, 6 times 1 will be 6. Since we are multiplying 1 with 6, so similarly even 2 times 1. No need of multiplying with 1, but just to show you. So this will be 2 by 6. Okay, so this is 14 by 6 and this is 2 by 6. Now you can add them. You add 14 by 6, this 2 by 6, and this will be 6, and 14 plus 2, that will make it 16 or 6. Okay, so this is your answer. Let's take one more. What if we have say 3 by 5 plus 4 by over 7. Now again you have to convert these two fractions. Since these are unlike fractions, you have to make them like fractions, and the way to make the like fractions is to find the equivalent fraction having the same denominator. First step is find the LCM. The first step is find the LCM. So the LCM of 5 and 7, the denominators. So 5, 7, the LCM will be 5 times 7, that is 35. Okay. The next step, to find the equivalent fraction of 3 by 5 having the denominator as 35. So 3 by 5. Denominator, the equivalent fraction of this one should be such a way that its denominator should be 35. By what number I should multiply 5 with that it makes it 35? That is 7. Now since I am multiplying the denominator with 7, therefore I have to multiply the numerator also with the same number, that is 7. So 5 times 7 is 35, 3 times 7 is 21. Okay. Third step is to convert this fraction into an equivalent fraction having denominator as 35. Okay. So we have 4 and then we have 7. Here we have to get what? 35 as a denominator. By what number we should multiply 7 with that makes the denominator 35? By 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Now since we have multiplied the denominator with 5, we will multiply numerator also with 5, and that will be 4 times 5 will be 20. Okay. Now clearly 35 and 35, that makes these two equivalent fractions and like fractions. So 21 by 35, this is the fourth step. 21 by 35 or 35 plus 20 or 35. You have to add these. To add these, you'll get 35 here and then 21 plus 20. This is 41 or 35. That's the answer.